Yo, what is going on, you Slackers? I am your host, Slackerz Gaming, bringing you the next matchup in our potential newcomer tournament that we've been doing on the channel. So real quick, trying to shorten this down. If you haven't seen, made a 36 potential character tournament. I upload a matchup each day. We vote down in the comments between the two in the matchup who we want to see move on. It is a double elimination tournament, so a winner keeps moving on. Loser drops down to the loser bracket. If you lose twice overall, just 2 times, you're done from the tournament. So yeah, and then voting for each matchup stays open for 1 7-day period. At the end of that, I tally it up, and then we review the results and see who moves on. So, for example, the way we always start off these episodes are by going over last week's matchup, which in this case happens to be Game 19, Isabelle versus Elma from the Xenoblade franchise. So this one was pretty cool. It had 2 pretty big name characters, and I really thought that it was going to be one-sided just because of how many people I hear expect a certain character over another. But I was actually surprised. Here's the results. Elma defeats Isabelle 42-34. And while I write these in, let me just real quick. So, what was it? 32? 34. All right. So, while I get these votes tallied up real quick, here's the story if anybody really cares. So, it started off actually pretty interesting. The first couple days, oopsies, what seed are you? 19. All right. So it started off very interesting. Isabelle had all the votes going for the first couple days. Game 19, Isabelle 14. Game 19. Where are you at? You down here a little bit farther? There we go. So Isabelle. All right, and you are 14. There we go. So now that we got that out of the way. So yeah, first few days Isabelle was getting all the votes, and then the last couple days, last 3 or so days, Elma supporters just showed up, and boom, Elma votes all over the place. Elma ends up edging out Isabelle by 8 votes, so that was pretty crazy. That's a lot of votes. I mean, what is it, 32 and 40, what is that, 70-some odd votes? That's nuts. That is so great turnout for that one. That is great. So that means we have to get into today's matchup, which we're moving back into the winner's bracket, and we got some good matchups coming up. First matchup, Game 25, Incineroar from the Pokemon series facing off against Paper Mario. Let's jump into it, shall we? So first things first, Incineroar has to be one of the leading candidates to become a new playable rep in Pokemon from the most recent generation, Generation 7 from Sun and Moon. It is the final evolution starter of the Fire-type Litten. Right? Litten? Am I doing that right? I think so. I think it's got a pretty big role on Ash's team in the anime, and the anime always seems to kind of play into a factor, at least it seems like, when picking a Pokemon to be a playable rep in Super Smash Brothers. So maybe, at least in the anime, from what I've told, because I don't watch it, it looks like Ash will end up having Incineroar on his final team, so that could be headed that way. But again, Pokemon, there's always multiple of them that are fighting for a chance. Incineroar, Decidueye, Zeraora, got Lycanroc, you got maybe some of the Ultra Beasts. There's ton, and that's just Gen 7. I mean, you can still go to older generations with that other leak that is floating around right now that people seem to be thinking that is legit, and it could be, which has what's the Gardevoir, and then an Echo Fighter of Gardevoir would be Gothitelle. I'm iffy on that one. I'm not too sure about that myself, but Incineroar has to be one of the front runners, I would think, from the most recent generation. It is very popular Pokemon, at least for Gen 7. So I mean, it's got that going. And I think something that helps Incineroar's case is I go back to this because there's a lot of people, not just me, that do believe in Virgimon. Virgimon is a leaker, and he said that Gen 7 has a playable rep, but it's not Decidueye, it's not Lycanroc, and it's not Mimikyu. We already know it's not Mimikyu because that was confirmed as a Pokeball Pokemon. So if it's not Decidueye, which seems to have been the front runner before that kind of came out, it could be Incineroar. So who knows about that? So let's move on to Incineroar's opponent, Paper Mario. Paper Mario is a very interesting one. Always seems to be somewhat of a fan favorite to get to be playable in Super Smash Brothers. And with the last game in the Wii U, was it Wii U or 3DS? Was the stage on both of them? Either way, Paper Mario did have its own stage for, I guess, to represent the Paper Mario series, which was interesting. There's not many series that actually do get a stage represented without a playable representation, so there is that, but you could always say, it's Mario series, they're all tied in together. Well, and they're kind of different. So, I mean, Paper Mario could totally play it differently. It doesn't have to be an Echo Fighter of Mario or Dr. Mario or anything like that. Paper Mario could be his own unique character. He's got his own moveset. He's got like a wooden mallet, a hammer. Could throw that into there. There's so many different things you could do with Paper Mario. He could be maybe kind of like a Game & Watch kind of thing. I'm not saying a Game & Watch Echo Fighter, but kind of in terms of fighting a bit like that. It could be maybe a bit quicker than Mario, but more of a lightweight, that makes sense, would play into, I guess, the Paper Mario character itself. So I think in terms of like Paper Mario, I can honestly see Paper Mario happening, but then again, there's always the argument, do we need 3 Marios? The only thing I'm going to say is we already have 3 Links. We have 100 Marths, pretty much, but I'm just joking. But if there's any one character in the Nintendo universe that deserves to have 3 iterations of the character, wouldn't it be Mario? The face, the mascot, the icon of the franchise, the company of Nintendo, wouldn't it be Mario? And plus, they'd play differently, so it's not just total copy-paste, maybe adjust something here or there for 1 or 2 different moves. I think Paper Mario makes such a unique addition to the roster. I would love to see it personally, but in this particular matchup, I don't think it's going to happen. I think, for me, I'm voting Incineroar. I think the Pokemon, because we have still yet to see a Pokemon rep. Pokemon always does get a new rep in the Smash games. Since we have yet to see it, and Incineroar seems to be one of the front runners for the Pokemon franchise, my vote is going to go for Incineroar. I would love if both of these characters got added to the final roster. I have no complaints about it. That'd be awesome. I would love to see that, actually. But, yeah, that's all I got for this one. Game 25, Incineroar versus Paper Mario. Again, let me know who you guys are going to vote for down in the comments. Yeah, Incineroar, Paper Mario. And I guess that's going to wrap up this episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed as usual. Hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.